All right, fight fans, joining us all the way from across the pond, she's going to be mixing it up in the ring on September 24th, Hannah Rankin.
Hello.
How
you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Very good.
Listen,
Okay.
I want to ask you about what just transpired over in England with the big card that everybody was excited to see. Obviously, Savannah Marshall versus Clarissa Shields, who you shared the ring with both, and Baumgardner versus Mayer. We were excited over here. Did you know, before knowing the culture there, did you figure that fight was going to be postponed before it was actually announced?
No, actually. To be honest, when I heard the Queen had passed away and the fights were all postponed for that weekend, I couldn't actually believe it because we've all been waiting so long for these fights to happen.
Yes.
And massive shock. So, yeah, no, I was absolutely gutted, to be honest.
Well,
Yeah, it's a big show.
Speaking of that fight, though, the main event, I mean, going into that fight, who did you have winning? Who were you picking for Clarissa and Savannah?
I had Clarissa winning that one for me. If I was going to say prediction, I would have said she beat her on points. That's what I was going to say, you know. So I've been working with Clarissa in Miami for the last 2 weeks of her training camp. Just prepping for mine as well. It just worked out perfect timing. So, yeah, no, for me, definitely Clarissa, just because she's got the better ring IQ, the more experience as a pro, multiple weight world champion. For me, I just had her taking the win for that one.
But you fought them both, though, and you felt Marshall's power, and she feels like she can hurt Clarissa. What do you feel?
So when I fought Savannah, I took a knee in the 7th. I won the first 3 rounds of the fight, but then I perforated my eardrum, which really offset my balance and meant me to take some quite heavy shots. Yeah, she's a big puncher. You know, if you say at the end of those punches or you go into one of those punches, she's heavy, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel that, you know, Clarissa's not going to be that person that sits at the end of those punches. She's going to want to be inside, she's covering that distance, putting those combinations together. So, yeah, no, I think the power was definitely going to play a part, but maybe not till later on in the fight, in case maybe Clarissa walked onto a shot or something like that. But even then, I still had her edging it on points. You know,
the co-main event, Hannah, is a fight that nobody can give me a straight answer. It's like a 50-50 fight with Baumgardner and Michaela. How does that fight play out in your eyes?
So again, an amazing fight. The build-up was incredible. I was I was almost more excited about that fight.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, for me, having watched like Michaela's previous fights and also like the firefight she's been in, like that fight when she was, you know, she's just pushing herself. She's got a great work rate. So I had her winning it on points, though I thought it was quite a really close fight. Like, again, boxer versus puncher, same as the main event. So, you know, I think it would just have to be that she stayed switched on, kept that work rate on top of Alicia for the whole fight. And yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that would happen, but you never know when you go in there with a puncher.
You know what I noticed with British fighters? Let's say if it's an Anthony Joshua and a Dillian White who have shown in the past that they dislike each other. If they're fighting someone else, let's say if Anthony Joshua is fighting an American, then Dillian White is always rooting for Anthony Joshua. So you just said that Clarissa Shields would beat Savannah Marshall. Does that upset British people in the boxing community and fans? Do you notice that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think the boxing Twitter or social websites, whatever, they've all got their own opinions, you know, and but God forbid I had an opinion that went, you know, things, you know. But, you know, I think, you know, we're all entitled to what we believe. And as far as I'm concerned, even though Clarissa is American and she's not British, I still had her winning.
You know what?
I took the hate, you know.
Brave.
You stood strong. That was brave. You know, we mentioned Baumgardner, who stopped Terri Harper, and obviously that's who you're going to be facing on the 24th. Do you feel a little pressure because of that? Like, maybe I need to make a statement in this fight?
I don't feel any pressure. I'm going out there to do exactly what I've been doing in the gym, what I've been working on with my team. You know, I'm just going out there to showcase what I'm good at. And, you know, if the knockout comes, the knockout comes. And to be honest, I'd love that to happen. I don't think any fighter doesn't want to have the knockout win on their record. So, Yeah, but I think, obviously that was her fighting down the lower weight classes. She seems to think she can carry the weight up to 154. So, we'll see what she can bring on the 24th September. But yeah, I don't feel the pressure from that fight. There was a fantastic shot from Alicia, really fantastic.
Smart mindset. But do you think if you win or when you win, do you think you'll get the credit you deserve because she's moving up so much pounds, like 20 pounds?
When I win, obviously it'll be exactly what I expected and what me and my team expected. I don't believe she's a true 154, and probably I won't get the respect that I deserve for it because, she dared to be great, but, I will be proved correct. But at the end of the day, it's a fight. I'm going in there to defend my world titles, and that's the most important thing for me, leaving as world champion and obviously taking those belts back to Scotland.
It just made me think of, you said she dared to be great. I was about to say Conor McGregor. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. Do you think that's the same thing is going to happen? That Conor Benn is daring to be great, but he's fighting a guy who's just way too big for him?
So for me, I'm a massive Conor Benn fan. My heart is always with Conor in the ring. I've always enjoyed his career, and I love the way that he just comes at it. He's worked so hard to get to where he is now. And this is kind of one of those fights which nobody really thought was going to happen, but obviously with their names, it's come about, it's crazy. For me, I'd love Conor to get the win, but I just think Eubank might be too big for the later stages if he doesn't get him out early on. So, yeah.
A British fighter, knowing that boxing community over there, Hannah, there's been talk, obviously, Tyson Fury calling out AJ, even though people still want to see him fight Usyk to unify the division. But that fight, how important is that fight still to the British community? If that fight were to be made before Fury fights Usyk, would it still be a massive, massive show?
I think so. It's two British fighters, fighting for world title level at heavyweight. It's a huge fight for us in the UK. So the two were to come together, I think it would be great. I think it's slightly lost a bit of its shine since AJ losing to Usyk. Right. And I think AJ had to deal with a lot of hate after those two fights. And, I saw a massive improvement between the two fights. The second time in there was Usyk, he was that little bit closer. But Usyk's a one-off fighter. He's very, very impressive. So I think for British fans, we'd love to see the Fury AJ fight.
So it would still sell out Wembley Stadium.
Absolutely. Obviously.
No doubt.
Would you eventually like to rematch Savannah Marshall?
I'm not going back up to 160. If she wanted to come down to 154, she's more than welcome. But I'm not a 160 fighter. If anything, I've got the opportunity to go down to 147. So, for me, I won't be going back up to 160. I'm not sure she can come below 160 herself because she's really big for the weight. So, yeah.
All right. Well, listen, looking forward to seeing you in the ring. We'll definitely be tuned in on September 24th. Thank you for taking the time, Trent.
Thank you very much.